Hello everyone, I'm Mark Fleetwood and I'd like to welcome you to Simply Keto. This channel will be dedicated to helping people better understand the ketogenic diet while offering tips and recipes for success and following my own personal journey in the keto diet, my own personal transformation journey. My journey started as a 260-pound shift worker who was too embarrassed to go to the beach with his family, too embarrassed to go to a pool, to ever really do anything that required taking his shirt off. I wasn't always this big. This is me at 35 years old, after years of shift work on evening shift and developing really bad habits of picking up food from Royal Farms or Taco Bell or Burger King on my way to work, and eating snacks out of the vending machine at work, drinking 3 to 4 Mountain Dews a day, and then getting food on my way home from work. Really bad habits that a lot of people fall into. If you ever have worked shift work or ever have worked in a manufacturing setting or any type of setting that's not a standard 9 to 5, most people bring in food from stores or restaurants or fast food almost on a daily basis. This is sadly relatively standard. But we're going to fix this. I'm already on my way. This person here is not the person talking to you right now in the physical sense. I will keep giving you progressions on a 3-week basis for where I'm at. So soon I will give you my 3-week update on here. Now, getting into the crux of this video, the introduction to keto, this is going to be everything you need to know to get started. First thing I want you to know is that I am neither a doctor nor a dietitian, but I am a researcher. I have done many diets and I researched very thoroughly the ketogenic diet because it stuck out to me as something I knew I could do. It stuck out to me as something that made sense while doing the research, while understanding the physiological things that happen in your body while eating keto, the logic behind eating keto. Everything made sense to me, and I followed it, and I researched more and more and more to get better knowledge, to better understand exactly what goes on in the body, and exactly how to fuel that transformation, how to fuel that change. So guys, while I have no professional experience, I can tell you that I can link studies and research to everything that I say, and I will do so to make sure that you know that I'm on the up and up and I'm being transparent with you. So what is the ketogenic diet? There's a lot of misconception about the ketogenic diet. First of which is that it is a very whole foods driven diet. It is a very clean diet. It should be extremely clean. Most people think it's just hot dogs and bacon and grease, and well, yes, you can do that, but the idea behind the ketogenic diet in its entirety, in its truest form, is to be very much close to nature in a sense that organic meats, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, cage-free chicken, free-range chicken, no antibiotics, as much as possible on the cleanest end possible, organic greens. Getting into the second bullet point here, lots of greens. You must eat lots and lots of vegetables. You need the micronutrients. Micronutrients are going to come primarily from your green intake, your spinach, kale, collard greens, broccoli, asparagus, cabbage, green beans, all great on the ketogenic diet, all great vegetables. There are more, but those are just the first ones I could come up with off the top of my head. And I will go through and make individual videos about all these different things to really do a deep dive on many different subjects surrounding keto or within keto. Little to no dairy. Now this is going to be determined by exactly how clean you want to go and what your body's response is. This is very much a diet about listening to and responding to your body's response to food. Me personally, I do 0 milk at all, but I do use sour cream, and aged cheddar or high quality cheese. Full fat, high quality cheese. Nothing with skim milk, nothing with low fat, no cheese product, no cheese food. Those are percentage based. A cheese food is anywhere between 51 to 99% cheese, and a cheese product is less than 51% cheese. Just a heads up on that. Zero gluten and grains. This one is uncontestable. It just is what it is. Zero gluten, zero grains. The ketogenic diet is all about lowering inflammation. Now, it doesn't matter if you have celiac or you don't have celiac. Everybody, 100% of the population, has some type of an inflammatory response to gluten. It's 100%. It's on a spectrum, it's on a scale. Not everyone reacts enough to even know that they have a reaction, but it's there. And you will, if you're someone who eats the standard American diet, or the SAD diet as I call it, and you eat a lot of grains, and especially like a lot of whole grains, and trying to do really well with whole grains and all that stuff, you will almost immediately notice a change in your joints, a change in your stomach, and bloating, and how you feel, because you're getting rid of a ton of inflammatory markers. No starches. It's the primary difference between keto and paleo is no starches and very limited fruits. I'll talk about fruits in a different video, but very limited on fruit choices. What happens physiologically while being in ketosis? These two bullet points could probably be the same, but what happens is that your body begins to adapt to burning fat as a fuel source when it lacks carbohydrates to burn. Now, a low carb diet can be tricky because if you don't get low enough, you will feel really foggy, really sluggish, really lethargic, because you still have enough carbs for your body to function, but not to function well on carbohydrates. You need to limit carbohydrates almost entirely so that you don't have enough carbohydrates for your body to even try to process them or to try to use them as energy, and you start pulling from fat stores. You start pulling from the fat that you intake. Your body uses fat as a fuel source, and then in between meals, while you're not eating, your body pulls from its own fat stores. That's why this diet is so good at creating weight loss, is because it is actually training your body to burn fat as its primary fuel source. No carbs, no other fuel source. When you're in ketosis, your liver starts to create ketone bodies. Ketone bodies fuel the brain, they fuel major functions of the body. Very different. It is not anything to do with ketoacidosis. That is a very harsh disease associated with diabetes. Ketosis, being in ketosis, is not anywhere the same as ketoacidosis. They are completely different medical terms. They're completely different things. So just want to make sure that is clear. Ketoacidosis has nothing to do with being in ketosis in this sense. Ketoacidosis is a side effect or a problem associated with diabetes. Lastly, just a real quick breakdown on the macronutrient breakdown. If you have a smartphone and you can get MyFitnessPal app or any other calorie tracker that will give you the macronutrient breakdown, you want roughly 70% fat, 25% protein, 5% carbs. That's the way you want your breakdown to be. And however that comes. Notice that there's not a calorie number. This is not a calorie deficit diet. This is not about being in a caloric deficiency, because that diet typically creates a lower metabolism, and once you bring your calories back up and you're done with your diet, what happens? You gain all your weight back, and some. So with a ketogenic diet, you might end up in a caloric deficit simply because you find yourself full and you really can't eat anymore. But in that sense, you don't lower your resting metabolic rate. Therefore, the weight you lose is much more likely to stay off. Alright guys, prepping your pantry. What is the easiest way to start to make keto easier for you to start? Excuse me, I muffled that up. What is the easiest way for you to start keto? Rule number one, remove all sugars and bread from your home. Get rid of anything like that. Get rid of sugar cereals, sugar drinks, fruit juices, sodas, any cane sugar, any cornstarch, anything like that. Add quality salts. Make sure you have like a Himalayan pink salt or a sea salt that you have to use in a grinder. You don't want super processed, really small granular. The grinding salts are better. Quality salts are required. You want to salt just about every meal because in the keto diet you will expel a ton of water once you start to eliminate carbs, and in doing so you also expel a lot of electrolytes. So you want to make sure you keep your sodium levels up, and you get more magnesium and potassium, a little bit of magnesium and potassium from a high quality salt. The keto flu, as some people commonly call it, is a derivative of an electrolyte imbalance. It's not necessarily the lack of carbs that gives you that keto flu feeling, the grogginess, the kind of feeling of just brain fog. It's an electrolyte imbalance. It's not necessarily not having carbs. You want quality oils, quality cooking oils. I can't say this enough. Get rid of any canola or soybean or rapeseed oils. You want quality oils. Avocado, olive, or coconut oil are the three best. And stevia, if you require a sweetener. Stevia, if you have to have some type of sweetener in your coffee or some type of sweetener in your tea, stevia is okay. Number two, remove all boxed foods, processed foods, bleached foods, pretty much anything that would come from your freezer aisle of your grocery store. Pretty much any Pop-Tarts, Hot Pockets, frozen pizzas, frozen Marie Calendar meals, or any of those other things. I don't even remember all the names of them. But any of those prepackaged meals, packaged boxed foods, bagged chicken patties, frozen chicken patties, stuff like that. Get rid of all of that. All gone. We're staying clean, we're staying natural, we're staying close to the earth. Add lots of greens, lean meats, eggs, and avocado. Now, if you're somebody like me and you love eggs, this diet will be exceptionally easy because you can get 1,000-calorie breakfast simply by making a 5-egg omelet or 4-egg omelet with baby spinach shredded up in your omelet, a little bit of aged cheddar cheese shredded up in there, mix it all up, give yourself a nice omelet, 4 slices of bacon, half an avocado on top, and you are looking great calorically. You will have a breakfast that will leave you satiated for 6 or 7 hours. You will not want to eat for 6 or 7 hours. You will feel freaking phenomenal. You'll feel great. And I eat eggs probably a half a dozen a day. And what I want to make sure to show you guys, if you guys are still listening and still watching, is that I will give you blood work after a month of doing that on the keto diet and show you cholesterol levels are fine, blood pressure levels are fine, blood sugar is baseline, blood sugar, insulin levels are baseline. Trust me, people get scared of eating eggs too much because they think of the cholesterol in the egg. Dietary cholesterol is not your problem. That's a myth. It's a very, very, very small percentage of the problem. And when I get into that video specifically, I have all the links and all the medical research linked for you. But trust me on this, eggs and dietary cholesterol are not the problem. All right, guys. 3, remove dairy products and anything with soybean oil. Most dairy products. I do no milk, definitely no skim or 2% milk. Anything that takes dairy and pulls the fat out of it is leaving you only with the milk sugars, only with the lactose. If anything, you only want full fat, heavy cream, sour cream, full fat, good cheeses. You want the least processed cheeses possible. And if you like cheese, you really like Italian cheeses. I can't think of the really good Italian cheese, but a cheese that is made from goat or sheep milk, fantastic. I don't consider it dairy. Their protein source and their protein compounds are different. They're not like just regular cow milk protein. Those cheeses will be fine. Add ghee, add almond or coconut milk, and mayos or dressings made with olive or avocado oil. Primal Kitchen does really good ones. Sir Kensington has a really good avocado oil mayo. But Primal Kitchen is definitely one where they make very good Italian dressings and ranch and stuff made with avocado oils, and their dressings are really good. So guys, this is where I want to end the video. But before I do, I want to finish off my first video with a recipe, because I want to give tips and tricks all the time. So this one's going to be a quick recipe on what I call a treat meal. It is not a cheat meal, it's a treat. It still fits within the macros, it's still clean, still whole, but it's something that just gives you a feeling as you're eating it, you feel like you're eating a cheat meal, so that's why I call it a treat. So here I make fajita bowls. Now this is a sample for one of my bowls I made the other day. Cut up one red onion, one red pepper, one green pepper, and typically when you make it into a single serving, it'll be about a quarter of each. You'll eat about a quarter of the fajita vegetables. That was a double batch. That was like 2 of everything. If you want less carbs, go red pepper only, and it'd be the lowest carb of any of the peppers. The yellow and orange peppers have a little bit more carbs, but still in small amounts, it's fine. 1/4 cup of full fat cheddar, 2 tablespoons of full fat sour cream, a tablespoon of good oil. I use a coconut avocado sapphire oil blend, and I use about a tablespoon with the veggies, actually about 2 tablespoons with the veggies, and let the veggies soak it all up as it simmers and as it sears, and a little bit on the chicken when we cook the chicken. So it's about a tablespoon for the serving with everything put together. Half an avocado or guacamole. Now with the chicken that I did, if I switched that to a sirloin, to a steak, I could get a lot higher fat to protein ratio. But for this, I was already pretty good on my fat intake, so this was a good protein meal for me. This was a good meal that I didn't really require a heavy amount of fat, but it was still fatty enough for me to keep it keto. That's just 800 calories. You have almost 1,000 calorie breakfast and 800 to 900 calorie dinner. Trust me, don't worry if you're 2,000, 2,200, 1,800. In that range, you will be satiated by a high fat diet. And I can almost guarantee you that for me, when I was at 260 pounds, 2 meals like that satiated me enough to where I was not hungry all day. I was not hungry when I first woke up in the morning. I was feeling good. So guys, that's it for the day. I really hope you enjoyed. This is the first video of many. I'm going to try to go 3 days a week. So smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know whenever I put videos out. And guys, stay healthy, stay keto.